Hi boys and girls, I'm Mrs. Edelbrock, and today we're going to work on rhythm. We're going to learn to write the rhythms so that it will help you understand what the names of the notes are, and if you have to write an assignment, you will know how to create good notes. Now, some of you said, well, gee, Mrs. Edelbrock, I remember doing this last year. That's good. I'm glad. If you don't remember and you are new to my music program, this is going to help you. This is going to help you remember the notes, and it's going to help you understand how the notes are written. So today we're going to start with our simple, easy quarter note. I will give you an instruction on how to write the note and what it is to look like. I will also tell you the pitfalls. I mean, that's some of the things that I have seen in my years of teaching of how children have turned in notes, and I'm like, oh my goodness. So, are you ready? You will need a pencil and a paper, and make sure you put your name on your paper, and you will need to turn this in on a Google Classroom, and there will be pumpkins for you to color as well. So there's some fun involved in this activity. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to move in my whiteboard. Okay, the first note we're going to learn to write is the quarter note. Q, U, A, R, T, E, R. Make sure you write the word quarter, and then underneath write the word note, N-O-T-E. Okay, so I'll give you a minute to write that on your paper. All right, now you start at the bottom and you give me a swish and you say, I am a note head, I am a stem, I am the beat. Underneath you can write beat, E-A-T. Underneath that you can write the word ta, because that's what we learned in primary. Beat is what we learned in upper. Okay, I'm going to show you what the pitfalls are, and I'm going to put the pitfalls in green. Don't give me an eeny weeny note. I won't be able to see it. Okay, that I can't see that. Don't give me a chunky chocolate note. That's where you draw this and then color it in. Okay, you don't have to take that much time. Okay, otherwise it looks silly. See that chunky chocolate note? Don't give me a chunky chocolate note. Make sure the stem is on the proper side. Don't put it on that side. That looks too silly. Please do not give me a ballerina shoe. I've seen that before. Don't give me ballerina shoes. When you draw your note head, just put your pencil or pen down, or if you want to do it on a whiteboard and take a picture of it, that's great too. And give me a swish and an up. I'll buy that quarter note. Oh, forgot the lollipop note. This is what the lollipop note is. Beautiful little note head, but the lollipop note goes in the center. You know, I don't want a lollipop note. If we were in class and you accidentally did that on your whiteboard, you could just take that part of this lollipop note and give me a swish. Okay, so I'm going to give you a minute to take a look at that so you can write down quarter note, beat, and ta. And I probably won't use my orange marker, it's fading out. I want to make it look like Halloween. Okay, say bye-bye quarter note, bye-bye beat, bye-bye ta. When we have 2 sounds per beat, and you will see this in your Google Classroom slide, you will have 2 sounds per beat, and that is the 8th note. 8th note, you're going to write E, I, G, H, T, H, and because there's 2 sounds, there's an S at the end. N, O, T, E, S. Okay, 8th notes can be written 2 ways. Say, I am a note head. I am a note head. I'm a stem. A stem. Now those look like 2 quarter notes, don't they? Grab a hat. Okay? Then you can also cut the hat, and when the hat falls, it makes a flag. I am a note head. I am a note head, a stem, and a flag. In primary grades, we call this TT. In upper grade, we're going to call it beat and. Because eventually we're going to change this to a number, the beat to a number. It could be 1 and 2 and 3 and. But for right now, we're going to call it beat and. And we could also, sometimes we walked around the room and called it and. Pitfalls for this. I'm going to put these in purple. Same thing. No chunky chocolate notes. What's wrong with this? Now, believe me, I've seen that. We call that 2 shoes. Don't give me 2 shoes. Make sure you have the stem on the proper side. As my Aunt Jerry said, she likes people to be proper. There. See how we fixed that? Okay, so those are your 8th notes. I've also seen kids do this. They've given me beautiful note heads. They put this on the proper side, but that on the improper side. Isn't that silly looking? But believe me, when I asked for 8th notes, that's what they gave me. Long time ago, when kids didn't learn a lot like you are. Okay, so just erase that. They also give me lollipop notes. See how silly those lollipop notes look? Don't give me lollipop notes. Fix those. And believe it or not, last year I got some ballerina shoes. Most of the kids, when I did this lesson in class, they really did a good job and they got a lot of points. So let's make sure you have no ballerina shoes. Make sure your paper looks like 8th notes. Give me the flag notes and the hat notes. These are the flag notes. These are the hat notes. Make sure your paper looks exactly like mine. Okay? Now, if I wanted to take this away, I'm going to take this away, and I'm going to put a rest in there. You can just draw a little ball at the top, and it's like the number 7. Okay, but it's not quite like 7. It just gets a little flair to it. It's a 7 with a flair, and this is an 8th rest. So you would count, if I want to do a bunch of these, I could put it in the front too. And if I was in 2/4, 2 beats and a measure, because there's 2 of those, 2 8th notes, 2 8th notes. I could clap this. Oh, let me put this here. Let me make this easy for you. I'm extending this part. You don't have to write this, but I want to show you what it sounds like. It says beat, beat. Ready? Clap. Beat, beat. And you could say 1 and 2. 1 and 2. You could say and 2. And beat. Here would be rest and beat. That's how you would count that. Rest and beat. See how quickly that worked, okay? So that's how that rest works. I just wanted to make sure you saw that. We'll go over it more in class, and you'll get lots of rhythm practice, but that's your kind of introduction. And so I'll give you a minute to go ahead and write this. Sorry, my writing is not so good. It never has been. And I try. Okay, So those are my eighth notes. Say bye-bye eighth notes, bye-bye rest, eighth rest, bye-bye TT, bye-bye, beat and. Okay, I'm going to go on and give you the eighth notes up at the top, just so you can see how this is going to work together. I'm going to add some 16th notes. So right now, I'm going to write 16th notes. There are two 16th notes in an eighth note. I'm going to pull this over so you can see. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. There's my 3, 4. So right now those look like quarter notes, don't they? I'm going to give them a hat. Those are eighth notes. And do you see how I did my note heads first? Always do your note heads first, and then add your stem, then add your head. And then let's give this another sweet hat in the middle. There you go. So we have, and we have the front half of the beat and the back half of the beat. And I'm going to grab this. This is the back half, front half. So we're going to go ahead and call this the beat. Because we always will start with the beat. And remember when we go, and we're going to write it down, beat. And I'm going to go ahead and call this and. Because remember we could say beat and. Now, musicians really don't call this E. And if you had me last year, you played beaty-andas. Ready? Clap and say beaty-anda. Try it again. Beaty-anda. Now, some teachers you will see they will call this T. Remember we called this the eighth notes T, T. So they would call this tika, tika, tika. If you listen to Freddie the Frog later, he calls it tika, tika. And that's going to really help the third graders, second graders going into third grade, tika, tika. Okay, sorry, I don't like that orange pen. I'm going to toss it. I have another orange marker. Sorry, don't have another orange marker. Tika tika. All right, so I'll write that in black, trick or treat. T, ka, T, ka. Okay, so on your paper, I need you to write this whole scenario, the whole notes, starting with the eighth note. And then underneath, make sure you put these to go the front half. See, this is going to the front. This is going to the back. See how these are kind of lined up? Front half, back half. Okay. All right, I'll give you a minute to go ahead and write that and study it, and so that you can turn it in. Okay. When you do your 16th notes, they also can look like this. Watch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because your eighth notes had, oops, I'll move that over so you can see, one flag that fell down, and now the 16th notes, when you cut it, it's going to fall down to 2 flags. Can you see that? Maybe I'll move this back just a little bit. Forward, back. Okay. There you go. Okay, so I'm going to give you a minute to write that. And when I look at your assignment, I will make sure that you have all the notes drawn correctly. If they're all drawn correctly, this is your rubric. If they're drawn correctly and they look good, and I don't see any eeny-weeny notes, and I don't see like this, that's an eeny-weeny 16th note. If I don't see any chunky chocolate 16th notes, I won't buy that. Don't make sure the 16th note is on the correct side. So those are the pitfalls, okay? You actually don't have to draw me the 16th notes with the double flags. This is all I'm really looking for. Okay? All right. So those are writing rhythms, boys and girls, and in your Google Classroom, you will get a sweet little paper that gives you a chance to color. It will look like this. Okay, and you're just going to color the different pumpkins, and there will be a song, or a Halloween song to listen to. So I'm going to just go through, we'll go through on learning rhythms. You will see that video first, and then this is the second video you will see. The reason why I want you to take a look at this is because you're going to compose some rhythms for me. Okay, this is the first lesson. This is going to be the second lesson. I'm going to show you how to compose those rhythms. But make sure you understand how to write them and that you can watch subdivision video, and we'll see you later. Happy rhythm writing.